city council and doing what they do for the city. God, we just ask you bless them tonight, that you give them wisdom to make wise decisions for our town. We thank you and we love you so much. It's in Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, meeting is called to order at 6:02. Roll call, please.
Doreen Clouse.
Here.
Bobby Brown.
Here.
Christy McGee.
Here.
I have a person that's supposed to be here. Okay, on the way. Text that for a second. Address 414. We're going to look at the agenda as presented. Did that? All those in favor? 3-0. Moving on to the April 25th minutes. I'm looking for an approval of those minutes.
I may make a motion to approve those minutes for April 25th.
I'll second. Okay, Christy has made the motion to approve the April 25th minutes. Bobby has seconded that. All those in favor? 3-0. Okay, moving forward, Mark Turner with the VBS Fireworks, 621. Come on up, sir.
I'd like to say thank you for allowing us to do it last year. I know this was a new thing, and we would like to do it again this year. We are a week earlier. Due to some scheduling conflicts, we would like to, again, end our Vacation Bible School with some fireworks. It'll probably be about 20 minutes worth right at dark. So it should be over by 9:30.
And this is provided that there's no burn bans or anything.
I'm sorry?
This is provided that there's no burn bans or anything like that at the time, right?
Right. Oh,
Check
yeah.
with the fire
I mean,
department.
yeah, we'll follow whatever guidelines there are at the time, yes.
Thank you.
I'll make a motion that we approve his request.
Second it.
Okay, Doreen has made the motion to approve the VBS fireworks. Christy has seconded that. All those in favor? 3-0.
Can anyone
you.
come?
I'm sorry?
Can anyone come watch them?
Absolutely.
I'll see you there.
You can see it from the park. We're at the top of the hill. So,
Yay.
yeah, everybody's welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Ed Blackford. He's wanting to do a RV permit extension. Come on up.
Thank you for seeing us. Yeah, I was hoping the last time we were here, we were going to get things taken care of, but for some unseen circumstances, we didn't get everything done we'd like to get done. So we were trying to get an extension until we can make sure the camper is ready to go before we hit our mission trip. So we just need some more time. We just didn't get enough done right now. We had a month where we lost our camper because one of our jacks broke, and it took them a month to fix it. So we didn't even get to see our camper.
Council questions?
I make a motion that we extend the permit for another 90 days.
Okay.
Second. Okay, Doreen has made the motion to go ahead and extend that RV permit for another 90 days. Bobby has seconded that. All those in favor? 3-0.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Good luck. Old business, donations and naming the community building.
Okay, I have not written up a proposal, but I did get some, I'll share with the council. This works, and some criteria that other cities have used. And I know that Bobby and I were supposed to get together. We just never got time to do that to take place. So if you guys...
Okay, I would entertain a motion to postpone this so that we can have time to look over this.
I move that we postpone this until we've all had a chance to look over the paperwork on donations and community building names.
I'll second it.
Okay, Bobby has made. All right, business stimulus from ARPA funds. Okay, it was
5,000.
Good gravy.
It
I
was
was
35,000 total.
35. I was at 25 there. $35,000 total. So what we discussed last time is that I was going to use the Joplin Capital information and come up with some applications. In the process of doing that, I had a person from the Neosho Chamber of Commerce come over. She highly suggested I talk to a lady from Arvest, Tara Ox. Visited with her for a little bit. She says she's going to research it a little bit deeper. We're really trying to get an institution to basically be the trust of this money and divvy it out for us and take we're not necessarily looking to make money off of the money, but we're trying to keep it to where it's available for the public to continue to borrow from, entrepreneurs. So the idea is to have someone in care of it is what we're hoping for, business stimulus and ARPA. We have the doctor going in down there at 304? I'm sorry, 304. So we do have an empty building. I don't like to see empty buildings sitting very long here in Granby. You leave them empty, we get problems. People break in, or it gets stagnant, you don't know what's going on inside of them. So I think it's very important for us to discuss, what's our plan here? So we do have an empty side, and you think we need to pull somebody in. Putting out like an RFP for, just putting it out to the public, hey, who's interested in renting this side of the building?
I think that'd be a good idea.
Yeah, I think we need to get some options and let them know that, let them come and tour it and see how it would work for their business that they've got now, or what remodeling they would need to do.
Okay. So I would entertain a motion to get that RFP out there in the paper.
So we could work.
Details
of
of
renting it, or because they're trying to start a business in their town.
Yeah.
Come up.
So I would entertain a motion to get that out there in the paper.
I make a motion that we allow the city administrator to put an RFP out for public input on or applications, Proposals, thank you. I knew it was grasping at straws there. Proposals for what they would do if they were able to rent that portion of this former city hall.
So basically to include a business plan? then?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So Doreen has made the motion to go ahead and put those RFPs out. We need a set date as to when we're going to impact. How long do you want them out?
Let's see what they can come up with in 30 days. And
Okay, 30 days?
Yep.
So Doreen has made the motion to go ahead and put those RFPs out for 30 days to seek out renters basically for that second portion of the old city hall. They must have a business plan with them. Do I have a second? Second. Bobby has seconded that. All those in favor? 3-0. Okay, we'll get those out. You guys came in just in time, Mr. Bettis. Correct? Oh, I would have blamed it on him.
You were just in time, actually.
Yeah, actually, you're just in time. Would you mind to come up here with us, up to the podium? Yeah, you're Mark, right? I haven't met you before, but I've talked to you on the phone. I'm Jamie Conway.
How you doing, Jamie?
Good. Okay, Mark, at the last meeting, they accepted your bid for those city lots. There was a little bit of questioning in that last meeting. They wanted me to ask Austin with the EPA, why do they need to be slab homes? It goes back to the reclamation of the land. You cannot dig down very deep or you're going to pull up,
Lead.
yeah, lead, basically. So we have to keep those at a slab. You have no problems with that, right?
No.
Okay.
What I was going to do is put slab, raised slab.
Goodness, I gave you guys a copy. And
alternates. Here.
It's okay, alternative number 1, 7 lots at 35 per lot with a total cost of $24,500. This includes the installation of curbs and gutters, water and sewer. Payments of $2,450, 10% deposit upon selected project, and balance cost of $22,500. Alternative number 2, no sewer, water, lighting, curbs, or gutters. 7 lots, $8,000 per total. That would be us doing the sewer and the water. And the
Yes. But you guys doing everything, just buying the lot straight.
questions and make a decision on which alternative would be the
Okay.
best.
Well, there was one other alternative too,
Oh, okay, I see it now.
and not have to do the curbs and gutters.
That's
Curbs and gutters are expensive to put in.
Yeah, we don't really have curbs and gutters throughout our town.
So that was a 5,500, and we put in sewer and water.
Yeah, that's what that was.
Yeah.
Where's Victor in this? Victor, have you followed any of this?
Yeah, somewhat.
Okay. What's your,
I would let them do the sewer especially. You know, we're not in the sewer installation business.
okay.
So the first original and not the alternate 1 or 2?
I would say that's the best because, I mean, nowhere else has curb and guttering, so what's the big deal if they don't?
What's,
None of the other streets or anything have curb and guttering as well.
that, I mean, curb and gutter is just a major expense. You know, and I didn't know what you guys had planned on asphalt in the road and stuff like that. And sometimes the asphalt companies, they've got a curb and gutter machine that hasn't cost much. It does put in concrete curb and gutter.
In your original, you had floor plans, didn't you?
Yes.
Your floor plan?
Yes, yeah.
We took,
It's been a minute since I looked at this.
we just took photographs of the last house, and that's what type of homes we're building as we've been working. So that's what I got to do is sell them.
What's the square footage?
1,320. When you get up 1,500, like you guys were asking, that puts it over 200,000. I had a hard time selling over $200,000 homes.
We also want to keep it affordable for the people who
Yeah.
live in Granby.
Okay.
This is new for us, so we're just getting used to the sound and stuff.
Do you happen to have anybody interested as buyers?
I've got the one that I just finished. I do have a buyer for it. In fact, we're supposed to be closing in the next week or two. He's getting a VA loan, and that takes time. Yeah.
No.
Yeah, and we do have potential buyers for the one we're building now. And typically, well, so far, they've all been sold before completion.
Okay.
They've all been under contract, I should say, before completion.
And your plan was kind of contingent on, we get this one sold, then we start building the next.
Mhm.
That's the way you expressed it.
Yep.
to us.
And my son actually wants to build one too, so we'll be building, if things work out, we'll want to build 2 at a time. So we might be able to make that 2-year. But it's just my son and I and one other person. You know, it's just a little family deal. And I'm supposed to be retired.
Well, it's taken us 2 years to build one home in 4 years.
Yeah.
I understand. Okay.
Yep.
Not sure how we would do it.
Motion, we're gonna leave it all out. I would just say proposal.
I think we can do that. Okay. I'll make a motion that we accept the initial proposal from Mr. Bettis.
Okay, Doreen's made the motion to accept the initial proposal from Mr. Bettis.
I'll second it.
I have a second from Bobby. All those in favor? 3-0. So that's the top one that you listed with,
Putting the sewer and gutters, sewer and water in the 5,500 lot. Okay. Sounds good.
all right.
All right, thank you.
We'll be getting with you.
Okay, thank you.
Awesome.
Can we have a big groundbreaking ceremony?
Yeah. Did you?
For the park, for the pond lake.
On the lake.
It's the Pond Lake today.
Okay, we're moving on to new business. Bills to pay and balances on hand. I'm not seeing anything on the WEX cards. Have we initiated those yet?
I was in contact with a representative for that company. They wanted $4 per month per card. And so I asked them to go back to the drawing board and see if they could figure out something else for us. That would include us paying a fee to use their service.
Who did you go to?
Wex,
How many cards would we have?
I think it's 30. I think it's 30.
Is there any interest back on these cards?
It's a 1% cashback.
And that's if you do the $4 per card, right? Okay. How about accounting? I mean, do they, it's been a while since I read the paper on this. It seems like you had the free one that, they charge the money on. Isn't there another one where they do not charge, or they charge a fee, but they have the accounting? If they don't charge a fee, you did not get the accounting spreadsheet. Yeah.
I don't recall that. Their original proposal was the $4 per card with 1% cashback.
Is there other cards like this that, that works like OX, you know, it tracks who's using it and the mileage?
I'm happy to do that. I have not looked.
And then one other question, I'm sorry. When we're looking at $624 a year, we use a lot of POs, and somebody has to punch those in and stuff. Is that anywhere near the same cost of having to pay somebody to type in?
Hourly cost
The hourly
for
cost.
you doing that.
Yeah.
I have not done that math. This was a recent proposal from one of our department heads, and so we just reached out to see what this looked like.
Okay.
So,
Thank you.
Makes for a good accountability feature.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, the concern, I think, and the reason I asked is because like I said, I didn't see anything on here yet about it. But I do know that they struggle sometimes to get their POs from the office ahead of time. They have to plan ahead for all of that, which is not bad to plan ahead, but it'd be nice if we just had it right there. Then I worry about somebody having to keep track of all.
Right.
I would note that on this, the ball refunds was because there were some older girls that asked to be on a team, and we just didn't have enough interest. So those people were actually refunded for their entrance.
Gotcha.
On the summer ball expense, $354.41 for the police department. What was that for?
For the police department?
It's under police department.
Where do you,
First page, very bottom, summer ball expense. Categorized well? Okay.
oh, yeah.
Thank you.
I don't see what you're talking about.
It's right here, Joanne, on this front page. They worked hard for that. You can't have it. I said they worked hard for that money. We can't put it under your column.
Sorry. You still outspent us though, so it's okay. And they did get the door fixed at the dog pound, correct? The garage door?
Yes.
It's
The
good to
dog
go?
park?
Yeah, the dog
Yes,
park.
yes, it
And
is.
it's good to go for tomorrow's,
Yes, they push mowed it today too because they didn't want to put the big mower in and sink it into the dirt, into the ground being wet, and they worked hard on it.
It looks really nice.
Yeah, we have the ribbon cutting tomorrow morning there at 10 a.m.
this, the Miracle Recreation, was that for the replacement slide and cargo net, Lana?
Which was not easy to install. Yeah, we fought it.
Thank you.
We have an electrician lined up for those snowflakes.
And so we've got the guttering done for the senior center?
I have a video, it's leaking, just so you know. Like, it's leaking out of the curve up top, it was dripping down, I just took a video of it, I'll forward it to you right now while I'm sitting here.
But we still have quite a bit that we can still put for the cabinets in both the annex and the senior center, correct?
Yeah, I have a guy that's, I have two guys that are working on, I got a bid today
Okay.
from one of them. And then the other guy is still working on a bid.
For both places?
No, I didn't do the top.
Okay. Lana and I kind of emailed back and forth for some sinks that we were looking at, so.
And I did see that, I actually have one cheaper than that, I'll send you. It's a 3-bay.
Does it have the sideboards on it? Okay.
Yeah, I got a little kid with it one day. I'll show you. Because I sent it to one of the contractors here. You can slide.
Those on? Yeah, and we can just build around the mat, right?
Yeah, that's, well,
Leave it open.
we were gonna try to leave those cabinets in, but when we got into them yesterday,
I think they're just, yeah, we need to just
Leave it open and
take
use
that
under
whole
that
thing
middle.
out and just have the sink there.
Yeah. And then have storage under the middle.
Yes.
yeah, I gave them a list of exactly what we wanted done.
So that she has what she thinks she would sell for.
I can forward that bid to you guys too. I didn't bring it tonight because I don't have the other one, so.
We gotta get it done.
Any other questions on bills? Or balances?
I'll make a motion, we accept the bills to pay and balances on hand.
I'll second it.
Okay, Doreen has made the motion to go ahead and accept the bills to pay and the balances on hand. Christie has seconded that. All those in favor? 3-0. Okay, department head reports.
They still have to be tapped down, but they're out there and they're efficient for now.
Captain William, or Chief Williams, I appreciate you putting in the code enforcement lists in here. I do have a question for you. It's my understanding that you and Wendy were working on a grant again, I think. Is there a specific thing you're working on right now?
We've looked at a few of them. When you got with me a little bit earlier here today, we're looking at some radios,
Okay,
cars, handheld, and mobiles. Also kind of looking at the aspect of what we can do every other year, maybe for a car kind of thing. But we're just kind of looking, the radio system right now is kind of a focus. We got the vest, I've got GT Distributing coming down to measure the guys for the vest here in the next few weeks. So that was the grant we already received. Then the radio system is going to be something that we have to look at as far as grant-wise and as far as overall cost. Because I can tell you right now from experience from the sheriff's office, the in-car unit is about $15,000 a piece, and the handhelds are about $8,000 a piece. So it's going to be a costly factor, but also to get us off of digital and or analog, and we'll go to Moshwin. And Moshwin towers is placed throughout the state, so you'll never have an option or an opportunity, I should say, of being out of radio range. Now we do get into situations where we have no radio contact, which in certain situations can be very dangerous.
yeah, that is. Wendy?
Not that I'm saying that we would get the grant with FEMA or Department of Homeland Security, but they are very much pushing everybody to be on that system. So I think they're, making sure that there's funds available as much as possible. I mean, I'm not saying we're guaranteed to get the grant, but, there's definitely money out there because they want all cities, anybody in that type of position to be on that system to where there's intercommunication between all the different agencies.
And that's something we haven't discussed here, that council isn't aware of that grant yet, so you're just kind of letting them know we were to get a grant and the council said, well, we don't have money to spend on that.
Right.
Are we able to pass on it even after we've been rewarded?
I
Or do you
think
guys
so.
have any-
I think it depends on which agency you're dealing with. Sometimes they want to see the budget and see if you have that money available.
So you're working really closely with the department heads anyways, though, to make sure the money is available if you even
Yeah,
apply
they
for
looked
that.
at these, he came to me with that information, so.
Okay.
We talked about, we had a sit-down meeting, discussed, what's your priorities, what you want me to look for, and then, he obviously gets emails all the time too, what stuff is out there. And like, most of those posts weren't posted even to the government system until like the 24th or 27th, and then time to trickle down to our level, it was like the 1st through the 3rd, and so,
Yeah.
and now they're all due back, June 15th, or one's like June 14th, and one's June 24th.
Understandable.
So-
Okay, yes, sir?
Wendy is correct on that. The LoSWIM is statewide and run by the state, basically operated through the Missouri Highway Patrol. 2026 or 2028, somewhere in that range, they're going to mandate us to be on LoSWIM anyway, because they have already narrow banded everything. And the bandwidth is, law enforcement back 25 years ago, on a good clear night, I'd get Shoto County, Oklahoma. I mean, that's how wide the band was. For that, now they've narrowed it all down real tight, so it makes it a shorter amount of time you can do it, and then also the government made money off some of those frequencies as well. Why they've done that.
Thank you, guys.
So I don't know, going back to grants, if you're okay, are you pursuing them, I don't know.
Council, what's your thoughts on Wendy not bringing them every time to the council, just kind of going with it when she has the opportunity? What's your thoughts?
I think we just need to let her go with it when she has the opportunity.
Unless you have just some great big, fantastic news, we know you're working hard, so.
Well, we've got, luckily, Chief Williams, Chief Frank is my overhead, and Chief Murphy for helmets for the fire department. I don't know if that was in there for or not. It wasn't a huge dollar amount, but it was a little bit,
Something better
a
than.
little bit of help. And then the $10 one, hopefully we'll know in the next week or two whether it be $600 or not. And that was for beautification Main Street.
Perfect.
That answers your question? Not you.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Okay, so we're still looking at department head reports. Any other questions for department heads?
I just want to tell Murphy, good job on the carpet cleaning. That's great. Saves. Jane, good job.
Well, it goes back to the people who did it. The second I text him, that kiddo was, I say kiddo, Taylor Dottie, he does that elite carpet restoration. And I said, hey, let's text him and ask him what his thoughts are and how much he would charge or whatever. And he was like, 1,000%, I have your back, I'll get it done. And he's like, he was calling Murph before I could even tell Murph. And then
She can tell me she got a hold of it.
yeah, so it was a team effort on our behalf, and then he just jumped on it with enthusiasm. Like, he was ready. It was awesome.
That's great.
Good work with the weather as well lately.
Yes.
You've been working hard and we appreciate that. Everyone that's involved in that.
I'll make a motion, we accept the department head reports.
Second.
Doreen has made the motion to accept the department head reports, and Bobby has seconded that. All those in favor? 3-0. Now for the exciting part of the evening. My chair has been cold for a long time over here. So I would like to ask Dustin Elder if he would come up to the podium. I would like to request that the council consider Mr. Elder as our new North Ward alderman. Questions? The
Tell
council.
us a little about yourself. How about that?
Did you guys get the little, the little history things?
Yes.
No, I was born and raised in Granby and didn't leave except for the 25 years that I was in the military, and then we ended up buying Wendy's grandparents' place out on the north side of town, and we've settled there for the last 7 years. Any particular questions?
Just letting the people know.
Nope.
What,
And
What did you say?
She was saying she just letting people know. The big thing is, in the past, time to send us the bio so that we could send it out to everyone to take a look so that they are a little more familiar with you before you walk up.
Why are you interested in being on this council?
So, I mean, obviously, I like the North Ward to be represented here, so I don't like to see an empty chair. I think having all of the point of views that you could possibly have up there at the one time is good, so with an empty chair, you don't get that, so. And I like the direction the last several years that Granby's going, and I would like to contribute to keeping the momentum going in the right direction, or what I consider the right direction.
I move that we approve the appointment of Dustin Elder to the North Ward Councilman seat.
Okay, Bobby has made the motion to go ahead and approve for the appointment of Dustin Elder to the North Ward Council seat. Do I have a second?
I will second that.
Doreen has seconded that. All those in favor? 3-0. Welcome.
Welcome.
They're going to hand you your packet. Are you swearing him in this evening?
I hope I didn't have to memorize.
No, she's going to come back. She's going to swear you in before you can sit down.
You have to do it in front of everybody.
Yeah, and you have to read the. It is.
Repeat after me.
Yeah.
Okay.
I wanted to. I know because I did. It makes you nervous.
Okay.
How about this new space, guys? It's a little echoey. We need to work on that a bit, but bigger than you thought it would be, right?
It's pretty.
It's nice.
I like the window.
Yeah, there's two.
That's cool.
Video camera at City Hall? Yesterday? What were you doing at City Hall yesterday? Like the other City Hall? The City Hall down there? Or here? Oh, I don't know. Terry, was there a video camera left? Gotta put one of those Apple
You're
AirTags
kidding me,
on.
right?
Apple Air.
Awkward silence. Makes you stronger.
I'm a little nervous how long this is going to be now. Do I have to remember a lot of words?
No.
No.
It's short and
That
sweet.
they read it short, you answer it.
It's easier when it's one person doing it, right, Kristen? She was trying to use her manners and be like waiting for somebody.
When we redistrict, when that's all taken care of, it doesn't matter what side they're on until election. When we go back and we do our election again, then we'll have to make sure that we have them all represented. So, right now it's an empty seat and we postponed it and I don't want to leave it empty much longer. We need representation. Go ahead.
Raise your right hand. I, Dustin Elder,
I, Dustin Elder,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I possess all the qualifications
that I possess all of the qualifications
for the office of North Ward Alderman
for the office of North Ward Alderman
as prescribed by law,
as prescribed by law,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and of the state of Missouri,
and of the state of Missouri,
the provisions of all laws of the state
the provisions of all laws of the state
affecting cities of this class
affecting cities of this class
and the ordinances of the city of Granby,
and the ordinances of the city of Granby,
and faithfully demean myself in office.
and faithfully
Demean myself in
demean
office.
myself in office.
So help me God.
So help me God. Look here.
Sucker. You gotta watch that.
Just started.
Everybody else was thinking.
You might need to adjust your mic.
Okay, we're moving on. Number 4, Dixie Hayes records. There's a closet full of Dixie Hayes records up those to go down to the museum.
Perfect. I think Dixie would love it if she was with us. I think that'd be great.
Yes, ma'am.
I apologize. I was asked today, I received a phone call, if the council would give consideration to the cemetery to receive those records, and I said I would relay that.
Okay, we have a cemetery person here.
If there's anything, I don't know what all there is. I know Dixie had tons and tons of information, but if there's anything pertaining to the cemetery, we would like to at least look through it to see if it's anything that would be useful to us at the cemetery.
To add to your own records.
Right, and if not, then go ahead and we'd give it to the museum if we couldn't use it.
The reason Steve said that he thought it would be great there is because I guess recently when RJ wrote his book, he had to get permission to come into the cabinet to research, and he was going in and out several times. He felt like it would be an easier way for you guys to even get to that information. But would that be something that you could, would you want us to go through it first with you, or would you want it to go to the museum and then go through it with them? What's your thinking?
It doesn't matter. But
How-
we just thought if there's something cemetery related, we would like to have a chance to be able to have that if we could.
Gotcha.
If it's something that would benefit the cemetery.
How would it be easier access? Because how often is the museum actually opened?
I just know that he said that they would be able to just open the doors and they wouldn't have to have permission to go back through the, I don't know. That's what he was basically saying. it would
I
just
would be
easier
concerned of,
access.
making sure that things don't leave the building and what their plans are as far as how they would archive all that. And maybe we could use the upstairs of the old city hall to make our own little archive with some of those documents and
That's up to the
items.
council. I wouldn't do that personally, but yes.
Steve Burnett has tried really, really hard to gather as much historical information as he can about Granby in general, and I think he's done a pretty good job of getting it organized. I mean, I think a couple of Jay, I know he's asked for anything that we have and put out what our plans on anything, and giving it to where it can be displayed or at least at the museum. As far as having access to it, anytime somebody wants to go up there, they just have to call one of the numbers on there, and they're usually pretty good about, somebody just had to do it right this minute to go look at the files. I think they make it
I think
better.
that's the only place for it.
Girls,
There to do it.
what's your thoughts on that?
My thoughts are, I would like to see it go to the museum.
Yeah.
And that
100%.
way, then Karen, you could access, get with them and access it and maybe photocopy the records so that you would have it for your files too. Anything that pertains to cemetery.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff.
It's
I
a
mean, they're gonna have
closet
space
full.
for it all.
Yeah, it's a closet.
Totes.
And they're all cataloged. It's my understanding that they're for the city, and it's for desire that they not go to the museum. The reason being, I don't know what the subject matter was there, but I do feel like the city is at a point where keeping historical records like that are cataloged like that really isn't a position of the city. That's my personal.
But Karen, where would you store them? How would you make sure that they never,
Well, the only thing we would be interested in is cemetery stuff.
and
We
it's
wouldn't
probably,
want
I don't know, I've never seen it, but it's probably just all together. So it would be
Yeah.
something where you would just probably need to photocopy it.
Yeah, it's in binders.
Yeah, but that binder might only have one thing about the
Oh,
cemetery.
no, they're full. Yeah, she'd have to go through, she'd have to look
And it
through.
wouldn't be that whole.
Well, I didn't know if there might be a binder that's cemetery binder.
Yeah, that
That's what-
makes sense. I haven't ever looked at it. I'm interested.
How often do you reference those?
They have only been accessed one time since I've worked there, and they were by gentleman from the museum, and he was very diligent to come down and go through those there at City Hall.
How long have you worked for the city? So for 9 years, you have not utilized those. And has anybody in your office? No one? Just RJ?
And it's
Has anybody reached out to them to see if they would like them? I personally would like to see the museum even, just because of the history, and that is what was stored at the museum.
If we ask the family why she did not want it to go to the museum, that would be a step I would like to take.
Maybe she didn't think that we discussed this, that she didn't know what was gonna happen with the museum. Maybe it wasn't gonna stay as the museum, and she was worried it would just fall to the wayside.
That's a really hard thing too, though. Once you donate or give something to somebody and they've held on to it for so many years, I don't know that they have to keep it forever.
How long has it been there? Before you?
She's been gone for 10 years.
And there's also a historical society.
Yeah, Newton County.
County has a historical society, so they work in Washington too. If the museum is going to take them, then I'm fine with the museum and the historical society.
I say.
All I know
museum.
is Steve saw this online. He called me up himself and said we would be thrilled to take them into the museum. And I mean, they catalog
that's what we
things. I
should
mean, worrying about things walking out, they have artifacts in there and they've had them for years.
Sure.
Yeah, I think that would be my first guess on what to do with them.
Dusty, what are your thoughts?
I mean, I would want to know why the family,
Yeah, that's my thought too.
why she didn't want the museum to have it. I
She
mean,
worked at the
if her family knows,
Yeah, she worked at the museum. She
but
did
if,
the
but
tours.
if they don't have any,
Do we have it written somewhere that she said that?
I have never found anything. Everything that I know, I have to go back and out.
If I remember correctly, Lauren is the one that donated all this stuff to the city. Dixie was already gone. And Ashley was on the council. Ashley Etchman was on the council. And Ashley was the pastor of the church where Lauren and Dixie went to church. Dixie's been gone 10 years. Lauren's been gone 4 or 5 years. And Lauren was cleaning out the house when he was still at home. And he asked Ashley about donating this to the city. So Ashley got all of it and brought it to the city. And that's how it ended up at the city. I don't know that it was ever donated to the museum. I think it was just, let's give it to the city, want something done with it.
So that statement's really just hearsay,
so that,
honestly.
so that was just word of mouth.
Absolutely, everything I know regarding those catalogs.
Two of them left. Mr. Hayes,
Les?
up there by the store, Leslie Hayes,
Mhm.
and one of the twins.
Beverly, isn't it?
So, which one's left?
Barbara's passed.
Barbara's,
Barbara's
Beverly.
Beverly.
Beverly's alive and Kathleen's alive.
And what are they?
Beverly and Kathleen, and then,
And they're here today.
no, Kathleen lives up by Kansas City.
Les and Beverly are in Granby. Well, I know Les is. Last I knew Beverly was too.
I think the best
And
part
I
of
asked
it is-
Kathleen the other day what happened to her mom's pictures, and she goes, I have no idea.
So my question is what it boils down to is, what's the best place for these items to go? Who's going to benefit the most out of these items? That's what it boils down to. Is if it's the history of your town,
You want it in your.
And if they're accessible to the public,
Yeah.
And the reason we ask about the cemetery stuff, I thought there might be a binder that said cemetery.
I think that's just.
You know, I didn't know
we'll just
how
have
they
to
were,
look at,
they
yeah.
were put together.
We'll just have to look at that.
we do have a book, but it is not Dixie Hayes, it is a city book with regard to the cemetery records, the plots and everything. And there's a big sign on the front of it that says, do not remove from City Hall. And it's about this big, so it couldn't be snuck out by any means, but, that's the only thing that I'm aware of in the cemetery. And I think we,
so what it boils down to, and I think Chief Williams would probably be like, yes, who has possession of it? The city. It was handed and given to the city. The city has rights to do with as they please with this. I would never recommend destroying these, by no means, but it is up to this council to make a decision as to where they go. They either stay with the city, go to the museum. You can talk to the relatives. I would caution you to think about who's going to benefit the most out of that, and go from there.
Yeah, when I said that it was to contact them, I I was thinking it was written down somewhere, like this was my wishes or
Yeah.
something like that. But if there's nothing.
Have you looked through the whole package? There might be something in there. Just kidding.
She's gonna throw
In your
some-
spare time, which makes it easy work.
But as far as it going to the museum, I mean, I know Steve Burnett, and that guy's relentless. I mean, he'll do the right thing with it. I'd rather see it go
100%.
there than to the county.
And then it will do what?
Listen to that.
It's just been in the closet, so no. And then if you put it upstairs, I mean, your chance in, something getting into it, mice, there's nobody up there to monitor that. Plus, it would be nice if we did something with that upstairs one of these days. It is amazing up there. Airbnbs or something.
One option I might throw out, sorry for you, is it's not uncommon for people who own historical artifacts to loan them to museums and such. So if it comes to the point where you're worried about who owns it, you could say that the city still retains ownership of it. It's on loan to the museum, and then if anything ever does happen to the museum, you can regain physical possession of those.
That's an excellent
That is
point.
a very good idea.
Thank you. I like that idea. Thoughts?
That's perfect.
Perfect.
So we would need I'm huge on written documents, so we probably just need, if you'd like me to type it up, I can, just a little thing that states that we retain ownership and we're going to loan this to them as long as they would like to have it within their possession. And if you want, I can write it up, or you can, Lana.
And we shoot it over, write something up, shoot it over to the city attorney, I'm sure that we have, everything that we can.
Okay, as long as we don't pay them too much to take the time to do it. Council, I would entertain a motion on that, just to make sure it's on our records, please.
I move that we loan Dixie Hayes' records to the museum.
Okay, Bobby has made the motion to loan the Dixie Hayes' records to the Miners Museum here in Granby. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Christie has seconded that. All those in favor? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4, 0. Okay. Number 5, we have the Scrap Tire Circus Grant. Wendy, I don't know if you have a copy of what we're looking at. Do you want to look and see what we're looking at right here?
I don't have the application, I have the checklist.
Okay, so you have the checklist? Okay. Can you talk to us about this?
Yeah, just a little bit from what I've read, and then I did talk to Laura, who was in that email thread, who is from DNR, about it. And there is 2 different types of grants out there. One is for tire recycling that would include like the little rubber shred that you could use, like in hiking trails, cross-country trails, horse arenas and stuff like that. The other is the playground type, and the equipment for that is obviously a little bit more. I think the first grant was like around $500,000, the second one was $600,000, up to that amount. And they would bring in, you'd be a vendor, they bring in all the equipment and everything. That is the pourable type, the molded type. In order to do that, and we use it for the playgrounds, because at first when we talked to Lana and to Jamie, that sounded awesome, but then when you got to read the fine print, you have to put it on top of concrete or asphalt. So then you would have that additional expense of that. I talked to a local contractor for something that I'd asked about for here, and he mentioned in passing that he did a job in Joplin for a big job up there, and it was all concrete and then they came in and laid that on top of it. So it's basically deciding kind of which direction, if you would want to go that way. We could, possibly in the future, if we got the other grants for the hiking trails, use the broke up tire stuff. It would be possibly a way for the recycling center to generate funds. Another avenue that I'm trying to find a grant for is more like wood mulching. So like people would bring in, be able to dispose large amounts of wood. We would then turn turn it into mulch and then be able to turn around and sell that. And then we could also use that in our playground, because we're not required to use the molded type. So in the long run, we'd be possibly generating income for the recycle center, and then also being able to save ourselves money in order and finding our own mulch. And then we could also probably use that mulch in some of the hiking trail areas too.
So what we're looking at, it talks about outdoor furniture. I'm a bit confused. Can I hand that to you?
Yeah. And there's also, I talked to Laura at the DNR today. I mean, she was nice, but it was basically, print off those point things and see if you can even qualify, And then once you rack up your points, then I can talk to you. But I asked her if we had to have on-site visits or anything like that, because that's sometimes what DNR requires. She said none of that was required, and then this application, which we just got this week, is due back June 14th. So, and I'll probably need some help from a couple different departments on scoring point-wise, so I can get with
So
Lana.
is that the same thing you're talking about, though?
That is one of them, yes.
So I guess I'm trying to understand how this works. So they just bring us, like, if we apply
You
for
become
it-
a vendor.
I'm sorry?
You become a vendor,
Vendor.
basically. All of the tires need to be generated at least 40% out of Missouri, so we can't go somewhere else and take in. But you can charge per tire coming in, and then we would break them down with equipment that they have. And for the non-playground, I'm pretty sure that was around 500, up to 500,000.
So they would set it up, they would provide us the equipment, set it up out there for recycle. Then our recycle guys would man that, bring the tires in, and that would pay for itself, is basically what.
And then people could bring in tires too. I think they're really trying to break up the tires as much as possible. So I think there is money out there for this. There are some pros and cons with that. There's some people that say it's not good, other people, and I didn't get too deep into that part of it. But yeah, the other part on the moldable stuff, as far as this, I don't think this equipment would necessarily make the benches and stuff, but I think you could then take what you gather, take it somewhere else, and then trade it in for the benches.
Okay, so those are just examples of what we could possibly make and the cost that would possibly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it's
Sorry, I wasn't following.
it's the molded stuff, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's not, when I was asking her questions, back before she was getting confused when I was talking about, it's all tire molds, whether it's molded into something or broken up into pieces, Anyway, both of those are out there, and so we can apply for, what I would like to do is probably the non-playground, just because I think there's more applications that we can use if we went that direction. I think, because you can't use the non-playground in the playground, but you can use it on hiking trails, and then selling it for molds for flower beds or for the community garden, or,
So do you feel like, and Cliff, I might ask you this part too. Do you feel like redoing or reusing tires, having the tires come in would be more beneficial, or doing more of a mulch type thing?
What the options are, and then make a decision after that. It's more out what gets on that.
Okay.
But I could go ahead and do the point system and figure out whether, one, we even are eligible to qualify for it before we go down the avenue of doing that. But I'll probably have to get with department heads to get some of the points divvied out or whatever.
Council questions?
How many grants are there for this? Just one? Is there multiple for the state?
No, multiple people have got them. I looked at the last year's list, but I didn't really pay attention to the number. And then once you get it, you're not eligible again for another 10 years. Because I think it's a footprint that you're supposed to maintain, I think, for at least 10 years.
With the funds that you are?
I think so.
Now, is it a one-time lump sum, or do they give you so much every year?
No, I think
So-
it's just quickly reading it, because I just got it day. It's just a one lifetime sum, and then you would generate your own funds to keep it going by, you know, charging to have the tires brought to you. You know, like most tire shops charge you, what, $4 or $5 at least? So, and I think 50% of tire, I don't know if anybody, 50 cents, I know, on every tire goes to the state.
Is there
I don't know if
another,
there's more than that.
is there another place that is doing this?
No, and I'm kind of
close?
surprised that Newton County's not entertaining the idea, because that's who sent you the information, correct?
I can't remember who sent it.
Or the division over them. It's whoever,
Region M.
Region M, yeah, I think it was Region M person that sent you. So they could have sent it to Newton County as well, I don't know.
I know I've been to some of their little seminars where people come in and they talk about what they're doing and reusing, making stuff out of it. That I didn't. I think I only heard of one company, and they were out of Springfield or something that was doing that. But they weren't making park benches and stuff. They were just putting the surface. They were talking about how they can make parking lots out of it and resistance to the rubber in the cars. It's a long story, but they hadn't quite perfected it.
So it's probably the pourable stuff that's similar to what they use in the playgrounds.
So
So
are we
Lana,
looking
did
for a
you
motion to-
read any of it? Did you?
We don't necessarily need a motion. I just, this was just an FYI, and yeah, it's just an FYI.
I mean, I'll just go ahead and do, if you're good with it, I'll do the points, figure out if we're eligible, and then come
Yeah, I
back.
think
And
you should move forward on this.
okay, and then I'll also try and see if I can find one that has to do with wood mulch too, so.
I feel like wood mulch might even be easier, because a lot of times people are like, come get this tree out of here, you know? And then we all need mulch, so I think it might be an easier one. Any other questions for you guys?
No, thank you for your
Thank you.
hard work.
Okay, public comment time. 3 minutes per person. Let me get this started. Oh, first of all, do we have anybody that would like to publicly comment? Anybody? Okay, well, no public comment time. I would entertain a motion to dismiss.
I'll make a motion that we adjourn.
Doreen has made the motion that we